Did you know there's an ancient philosophy created over 2,000 years ago that can completely transform the way you start your day? No, it's not cheap self-help, and it's definitely not just another passing trend. It's a way of seeing life that has survived empires, wars, and crises, and is perhaps more relevant today than ever before in the chaos of the modern world. And the most amazing part? You can start applying it tomorrow morning. How many times have you woken up with that anxious feeling like the world is already waiting for you with a never-ending list of problems to solve? Or worse, that urge to just stay in bed, ignore the alarm, and avoid responsibility for a few more minutes? Yeah, modern life has taken a serious toll on our peace of mind. We're constantly overwhelmed, connected to everything and everyone, except ourselves. And it's exactly in this chaos that the thoughts of the ancient Stoics can make all the difference. Yes, the Stoics. Those Roman philosophers who lived centuries ago, but in a strangely prophetic way, seem to be speaking directly to us. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, ancient names with ideas that feel more modern now than ever. They believed in something simple, yet powerful. The quality of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. And where do your thoughts begin? Every single day? Exactly, and in the morning. That's why in this video, I'm going to show you 8 morning habits based on Stoic philosophy that can transform your mornings, and as a result, your life. We're not talking about over-the-top routines full of impossible tasks. These are simple yet deeply transformative practices, things you can start doing as early as tomorrow morning. And if practiced consistently, they'll make you stronger, calmer, more centered. In short, more you. So if you're tired of waking up on autopilot, being pulled in all directions by notifications, pressure, and other people's expectations, get ready, because what you're about to hear might just be the beginning of a radical change, and it starts with a single step. Let's dive into the first habit. Habit 1. Wake up with intention, not with rush. Picture this. The alarm goes off. You reach out, hit the snooze button, roll over. 10 minutes later, it rings again and again. When you finally get up, you're already late. You jump out of bed, rush to the shower, take a quick sip of coffee that nearly burns your tongue, grab your things in a panic, and leave the house feeling like the day's already gone wrong. Sound familiar? Now imagine the opposite. You wake up at the time you chose. No rush. You sit on the edge of the bed for a few seconds. You breathe. You remember why you're getting up. You greet your day. That simple shift may seem small, but in truth, it's huge. Marcus Aurelius once said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to feel, to love." And that thought invites us to do something much deeper than simply waking up. It invites us to live with intention. Waking up with intention is a declaration to yourself that you're in control, that your day won't be a chain reaction of problems, but a sequence of conscious choices. And that changes everything, because when you choose to get up, instead of being dragged out of bed by obligation, you've already won your first battle. Stoic philosophy is clear on this. You can't control everything, but you can control how you begin your day, and that beginning sets the tone for everything that follows. But how do you do that in practice? Set your wake-up time with purpose. Choose a time that's realistic, but gives you space to truly experience your morning, not just survive it. This isn't about waking up at 5 a.m. because someone said, "It's millionaire hour." It's about waking up at a time that allows you to begin the day with presence, and more importantly, be consistent. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the value of daily habit. This is one of those habits. Waking up at the same time each day builds an inner rhythm, a ritual, and rituals bring emotional stability. Avoid the snooze button. This is your first Stoic test of the day, and probably the first failure for many. So why is it so hard to resist? Because the snooze button is a powerful metaphor. It represents the temptation to delay life. And life, my friend, doesn't wait. When you hit Snooze. What you're really saying is, I'd rather cling to a few more minutes of comfort than step into the responsibility of owning my day. Don't get it twisted. The Stoics weren't against comfort. They were against being slaves to comfort. They remind us that true freedom lies in choosing what is right, not what is easy. Start with silence. As soon as you wake up, avoid your phone, social media, and email. This is a sacred moment, a moment where you're still whole, before the world breaks you into 1,000 pieces. Use this time to breathe deeply, to simply be. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal every morning at dawn, not for Instagram, but to organize his thoughts, review his principles, and remind himself who he wanted to be. That's what it means to wake up with intention. You can do the same through journaling, meditation, prayer, or just a moment of quiet reflection. The key is this: before the world comes in, go inward first. Ask yourself, why is today worth it? This simple question is a Stoic trigger for motivation. It forces you to find a sense of purpose in the day that's just beginning. It might be something big, like working on a project you love, or something small, like having coffee with someone you care about. The size doesn't matter. What matters is remembering that you're here for a reason, and today is a chance to live it. Habit 2, remember that you're going to die. I know it sounds a bit heavy to start the day with, right? But before you judge this Stoic practice, take a deep breath and hear me out. The Stoics had a short, direct, and deeply transformative phrase, memento mori. Remember that you are going to die. It wasn't a morbid reminder nor an obsession with death. It was a call to life, an invitation to wake up each day with the awareness that time is limited, and when we truly understand that the way we live completely changes. Think about it. How many days have you wasted being upset over small things? Traffic, a delayed email, someone's rude comment, and in the end, none of it really matters, but we only realize that too late. When we lose someone, when we get sick, when life throws us a wake-up call, what if we didn't wait for those wake-up calls to start living with more presence? That's what the Stoics are asking of us. Every morning, remember, this day could be your last. Not to live in fear, but to live with focus, with intention, with a clear sense of what truly matters. Marcus Aurelius said, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. Imagine starting your day by looking in the mirror and asking, if today were my last day, would I be satisfied with how I'm beginning it? That kind of reflection puts everything into perspective. Arguments lose their grip. Rush turns into presence, and what used to be automatic becomes sacred. You don't need to write a farewell letter every morning or hug everyone like it's the last time. But what if it was? Maybe you'd look into someone's eyes a little longer. Maybe you'd say I love you with more sincerity. Maybe you'd breathe a little deeper, with more gratitude, simply for being alive. That's the power of remembering death, reconnecting with life, here and now. Start your day with that awareness. Sit in silence for a minute and simply remember, this day is unique. It will never come again. It was given to you as a gift, and it's up to you to decide whether you'll waste it or live it fully. Now you're truly ready to face the world differently, with presence, with respect, with reverence for the time you still have. Because in the end, it doesn't matter how much time you have. What matters is what you do with it. Habit 3, prepare yourself for adversity. Waking up in a good mood is great, but waking up prepared for challenges, that's Stoic wisdom. You know those days that start off fine and suddenly everything goes wrong? One comment annoys you, an unexpected problem shows up, a delay throws off your entire schedule. We keep hoping our days will go smoothly, but reality has other plans. And the Stoics knew that. Epictetus said, it's not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them. In other words, what happens in your day isn't the real villain. What truly makes the difference is how you respond to what happens. And that's where one of Stoicism's most powerful practices comes in, negative visualization. Even before you get out of bed, imagine that the day may not be perfect. Imagine someone criticizing you, a plan failing, an obstacle appearing. This isn't pessimism, it's preparation. You're training your mind not to be caught off guard. You're strengthening your emotional resilience so that when chaos strikes, and it will, you don't react with panic, but with clarity. The Stoics didn't believe in controlling the world. They believed in mastering themselves. And self-mastery starts in the morning, with this simple act of acknowledging, today might bring difficulties, and I'm ready. This takes you out of the naive expectation that everything should go your way, and grounds you in the reality that no matter what happens, you will maintain your integrity, your calm, your virtue. This practice transforms you from someone fragile, easily shaken, into someone resilient, steady, unshakable. And this isn't about becoming hard. It's about becoming strong from within. You can do this with a simple mental exercise. As you wake up, before reaching for your phone, close your eyes for a few seconds and ask yourself, what if I lose an important deal today? What if someone treats me rudely? What if I fail at something I've carefully planned? Now, ask, how would I want to respond if that happened? This kind of visualization not only prepares your spirit, it elevates your awareness. You stop living like a passenger in your own day. You take the wheel. You become the emotional pilot of your journey. And you know what's beautiful about all this? The more you practice it, the less you get annoyed with others, because you start to see challenges as part of life, not as personal injustices. You realize the world isn't against you. It simply is what it is, and your job is to protect your peace, even in the storm. Habit 4, build your inner world before entering the outer one. The modern world is loud. We wake up and the phone is already buzzing. Notifications, messages, appointments, demands, comparisons. Within minutes, our mind is full, but not with our own thoughts, with the noise of everything outside. Now pause for a second and think, how many decisions have you made under that bombardment? How many times have you started your day reacting to everything instead of reflecting on what you actually want to build? The Stoics teach us the opposite. Before you step into the world, step into yourself. It's like preparing your armor before going into battle, and not an armor that isolates you, one that strengthens you from within. Marcus Aurelius had a habit of writing every morning, not to publish, not to impress anyone, but to align his mind with his principles. He reflected on his actions, his desires, his weaknesses. He did it like a warrior, sharpening his sword before the fight. And you? When was the last time you spoke with yourself before speaking to the world? This Stoic habit can take many forms. Maybe it's silent meditation, maybe a prayer, or even a journal where you write down, honestly, how you're feeling and what you hope for the day ahead. It doesn't have to be long, but it has to be honest. You can start with simple questions. What am I feeling right now? What matters to me today? How can I act with more courage, more compassion, more truth? By doing this, you're building a solid foundation within. You're clearing the mental noise. You're preparing not just to exist, but to live, because the world will pull you. It'll try to convince you to follow its values, its urgencies, its interests. And if you're not centered, you'll end up living someone else's life and calling it routine. But when you start your day with that inner connection, everything changes. You stop reacting to the world. You respond to it with clarity, with awareness, with purpose. This doesn't disconnect you from reality. On the contrary, it puts you in a stronger, more grounded, more authentic position. And honestly, in today's world, that's a quiet revolution. Habit 5, align your day with your purpose. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing? Waking up, working, paying bills, solving problems, dealing with difficult people. All of that consumes precious time from your life. But for what? Most people go through life without ever stopping to ask that question. And that's where the emptiness begins. The frustration, that feeling that the days are passing, but life isn't really moving forward. The Stoics didn't accept that. They believed life needed direction, that every action should be aligned with a higher purpose. that living well wasn't about luck, it was about intention. Epictetus said, "Decide who you want to be and act accordingly." Simple, direct, deep. So here's the Stoic challenge for each morning. Align your day with your purpose. But what if you don't know your purpose yet? That's okay. Stoicism doesn't demand that you have all the answers, only that you're searching, that you're present in that daily inquiry. Maybe your purpose is to be a better person for your family. Maybe it's to serve with excellence at your job. Maybe it's to grow spiritually or to leave a legacy. The size of your answer doesn't matter. What matters is that it's true for you, and if you already have clarity about your purpose, even better, use each morning to remember it, to reconnect with that mission, to decide that every step you take today will move you closer to what really matters. Imagine starting your day with this simple question: what can I do today, no matter how small, that moves me toward the life I want to live? That question changes your posture, changes your energy, changes the way you respond to difficulties, because now you have a direction. And as Viktor Frankl said, when you have a strong enough why, you can endure almost any how. You know what's most beautiful about this? Living with purpose doesn't require grand gestures. It's in the details, in how you listen to someone, in the care you put into what you do, in the honesty behind each action. That's where Stoicism shines. It doesn't take you to a temple. It brings meaning into your everyday life. It invites you to place greatness into small things, to live with purpose, even when life seems ordinary. So tomorrow morning, remember, you're not here just to complete tasks. You're here to live with purpose, to leave the world a little better, even if it's just your own inner world. And that in itself is a Stoic act of courage. Habit 6. Practice self-discipline in the small things. Everyone admires those who have self-control, people who can stay calm in chaos, who don't give in to every impulse. But few realize where that strength actually comes from. Spoiler, it doesn't show up in the big moments. It's built in the small choices, day after day, especially in those first hours of the morning. The Stoics knew this. They understood that self-control is a daily practice, cultivated in simple, almost invisible actions. It's like strengthening a muscle. You don't lift heavy weights all at once. You start small, and you do it every single day. Now think with me. What's the first decision you make after waking up? Do you get out of bed at the first sound of the alarm? Or hit the snooze button? It may seem trivial, but that choice is a mini training in discipline. By choosing to rise, even when you feel lazy, you send a powerful message to yourself. I'm someone who follows through, and that initial decision spreads. If you start your day by choosing what's right over what's easy, chances are you'll keep doing that throughout the day. You'll eat better, work with more focus, avoid distractions, speak with more patience. It all begins with one simple choice, and everything depends on how you treat that choice. Seneca said it best. It's in the small battles that we prepare the spirit for the big ones. And if you want to face life's greater challenges with strength, you need to start by winning the small wars of your routine, making your bed, not checking your phone in the first hour, taking a cold shower, sticking to the plan you wrote the night before. These are the Stoic workouts of everyday life. The point isn't to be rigid, it's to be conscious. Every small act of discipline is a reminder that you have the power to direct your life, that you're not a prisoner of laziness, impulsiveness, or distraction, that you are the protagonist. And yes, you can make better decisions, even when it's hard. To the Stoics, true freedom wasn't doing whatever you want. It was being in control of yourself. And that begins before you even leave the house. Habit 7. Practice gratitude as an attitude, not an obligation. These days, everyone talks about gratitude. It feels like a trend. But for Stoic philosophy, gratitude was never just a catchy Instagram phrase. It has always been a deep, practical, and revolutionary virtue. Seneca wrote that nothing is more honorable for the soul than cultivating the feeling of gratitude. And what's most interesting is that for him, gratitude wasn't just about the good things. It was about everything, the lessons, the failures, the difficult people who teach us patience. To the Stoics, being grateful meant seeing life as a constant gift, even when it doesn't go as planned. And the best time to practice it, in the morning, before anything else, when the world is still quiet. When your mind hasn't yet been polluted by external stress. You don't need to write a list of 100 things. One is enough. A memory, a feeling, a warm cup of coffee, the fact that you're breathing, the simple privilege of one more day. And if you want to go deeper, you can even be grateful for the things that seem negative. Gratitude isn't blindness, it's clarity. It's recognizing that even in difficulty, there's something to learn, to grow from, to transform, and there's more. When you start the day with gratitude, you shift your energy. You stop focusing on what's missing and start noticing what's already there. You stop being a constant complainer and become a constant learner. That doesn't mean settling. It means building from what already exists. It means valuing the now without giving up on what could be. Stoic gratitude is practical. It doesn't require elaborate rituals, just a moment of awareness. A quiet thank you spoken with an open heart. And over time, that attitude changes everything. You complain less, judge less, expect less, and paradoxically, you begin to receive more because you're more present, more open, more connected. To the essence of life, imagine the impact of that on your mornings. Instead of waking up complaining about the time, work, or traffic, you begin your day recognizing that you're alive, that you have another chance, that you have resources, even if limited, to do something good with the time you've been given. That simple shift in perspective is an inner revolution, and that's exactly what the Stoics were inviting us to do. Change from the inside out. Begin your day with gratitude and keep acting with virtue. Habit 8. Reflect on who you want to be, and be that. Most people start their day worried about what they have to do. The meetings, the tasks, the deadlines. But the Stoics had a different priority, who you are becoming while you do all those things. Marcus Aurelius didn't just ask himself, what do I need to get done today? He asked, who do I want to be in the face of all this? Because at the end of the day, your identity isn't shaped by your results. It's shaped by your daily choices. For a Stoic, waking up isn't just about opening your eyes. It's about awakening your awareness. It's about remembering that every single day, you have the power to decide what kind of human being you want to be. And this is one of the most powerful habits you can cultivate in the morning, a moment of reflection on your essence, on your character, on what truly matters to you. It's not about being perfect. It's about being authentic. It's about waking up and saying to yourself, today I will act with courage, with patience, with justice, with wisdom, even if no one sees, even if the world doesn't reward it. Because to the Stoics, real success isn't about what you achieve, it's about who you become along the way. This morning reflection can happen in front of the mirror with sleepy eyes or on paper with any pen you have, but it has to be honest. No filters, no masks, no excuses. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be today? What kind of actions do I want to take even when it's hard? How do I want to feel when the day is over? And more importantly, act on it. Don't wait to be perfect. Just be consistent, because every morning is a new chance to align your life with your values. Seneca once said, life is long enough if you know how to use it well. And using it well begins just like this, with a quiet but powerful decision the moment you wake up. Being who you want to be isn't an event, it's a habit, a daily practice, a courageous choice, and it starts every day the moment you choose to get out of bed, not as someone escaping the day, but as someone showing up to live it with honor. And with that, we've reached the end of the 8 Stoic habits that can transform your mornings, and if practiced with consistency, transform your life as well. But listen closely, even with all these habits, you're going to fail sometimes. You'll forget. You'll want to slip back into autopilot. There will be days when nothing makes sense. And that's okay, because living stoically doesn't mean being a robot. It means being a conscious human. It means falling and rising again with purpose, waking up day after day and trying again with courage, with clarity, with truth. This isn't about changing everything overnight. It's about slowly building a life with more meaning, more serenity, more direction, and that is within your reach. Tomorrow morning, you get another chance. Use it well. And if you've made it this far, that probably says a lot about you, about your desire to live more consciously, more strongly, more peacefully. Maybe tomorrow, when your alarm goes off, you'll remember one of these ideas, and that in itself is already a sign of transformation. If this video made you reflect, go ahead and click the like button. It's how we spread this message to more people. And if you want to keep walking this path with us, make sure to subscribe to the channel. After all, every morning is a new chance. The choice is yours. Repeat the autopilot or live with intention.